Hey, how you doing again? Now we're on step 11. We're coming up to the apex of the mountain. We're almost through. We're moving ahead into the maintenance steps. Maintenance step number 10, maintenance step number 11, and maintenance step number 12. By this time, we have a good understanding of who we are and some of the things that we've done. And you should be feeling pretty good about now. You should be, hey, congratulating yourself. You're doing well, and I hope I'm doing well. I hope you have understanding. Step 11 says, sought through prayer, talking about prayer again, and meditation, to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Sought through prayer and meditation. Simply put, somebody said prayer is us talking to God and meditation is us listening to God. I mean, there are so many different ways to talk about prayer and meditation that I'm hesitant to even try to go there, because no matter what I say, I'm going to be right for somebody and wrong for somebody else. Each person has to find their own spiritual disciplines. You see, there are some things that God will not do without us, as I said. And we can't do anything without God, I believe. But prayer and meditation places us in a position to be used by God. They are called means of grace. They are called tools by some people. And I always say you can have all the tools in the world, but if you don't pick it up, so be it. You just have tools to fix a car. You haven't picked it up. But prayer and meditation are tools that have been used throughout the centuries and the eons, way before AA thought about being AA. And they have been sufficient for many people to overcome life-dominating problems. And so AA and NA and other 12-step groups have recognized the power of seeking through prayer and meditation a conscious contact with God. And I believe that prayer should be, for me at least, simplistic. Again, prayer doesn't have to be a lot of words. It doesn't have to be Elizabethan English. It doesn't have to be the way you think it should be. Prayer to me can be very simplistic, but I believe that I have a higher power that hears me. And I can pray and talk to my higher power as my friend. So I seek my higher power through prayer. Just talking to my higher power, thanking my higher power, rejoicing and laughing with my higher power, dancing with my higher power, cracking jokes with my higher power. I mean, I don't think anything's off limits. I can be angry at times with my higher power. I don't think it's off limits because I have a loving higher power. So prayer and meditation, I do that to seek a conscious contact. That I have contact, but I'm not always conscious because I'm so selfish. So I seek through prayer and meditation. And meditation, as I said, is us listening to God, trying to receive from God. As a matter of fact, I think most of prayer is really trying to align myself with God's purposes. I believe God has a purpose for the whole universe. And if I can just align myself with His purpose and go to where He's going, everything's going to be all right. Now, for those of y'all who don't like He, go to where she's going. Everything is going to be all right. I believe that prayer aligns me with the purposes of the universe and the purpose for my life. So I'm not trying so much to bend God's arm or knock down the resistance of God in heaven. God is not resisting my happiness. God is not resisting my joy. God is not resisting those things that are helpful to me. It's me that's causing the problem. So when I pray, I start aligning myself to the purposes of God. And I believe God's purposes are good and healthy and loving and joyful. And another way I align myself is through meditation. Now, there are many ways of meditation. I believe that in some Eastern meditation, the objective is to empty yourself, maybe of yourself, and all the noise pollution that's inside our head. So some people, as you know, may look at a candle or something. They meditate on one object. And what they're trying to do is just clear themselves of all the clutter, to the best of my understanding. Just clear themselves of all the clutter. So they're trying to empty themselves. Now, there's the other kind of Christian meditation. Most of the time is not to try to clear yourself and to become nothing, but to actually fill yourself with maybe what you believe is the word of God. So some people would meditate on that word. The word meditation in the Bible means to mutter or to say to yourself or to just chew over it again like a cow chewing the cud. So some people meditate, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is all day long. They may just meditate on that one line all day long, taking away their fears and their insecurities of economic insecurities, and taking away the fears that their needs are not going to be met, taking away the fear that they live in a hostile world with a God that doesn't really have a shepherding heart. So what they're doing is just reminding themselves on a continual basis, the Lord is my shepherd. Of course, in our program, many of us meditate on the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So many people meditate on that all day long, helping with the 10th step. What is the wisdom to know the difference? When should I promptly admit that I'm wrong, and when am I right? Because I'm not always wrong. Somebody said a broke clock is right twice a day. I must be right sometime. So I'm not always wrong. I'm not a doormat running around promptly admitting I'm wrong all the time. So as I meditate on the serenity prayer, I'm asking for the wisdom to know the difference, to know when I'm wrong and to know when the other person might be wrong or the situation might be unjust. So I can meditate on the serenity prayer. I can meditate on the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. There are so many things you can meditate that I don't even know about in other religious traditions that people can meditate on that know far more than I know. But I know that prayer and meditation throughout the ages have allowed people to come into conscious contact with God. You see, we live in a mundane world that has so much noise pollution, so much violence, so much going on. Some of us go to sleep with the TV on. We wake up and turn the TV on. We keep the radio on all night. We're just afraid to actually get away and get into a conscious contact with a higher power. The 12 steps suggest that you seek a conscious contact with a higher power. My understanding is that if it's a conscious contact, if you're conscious of it, you're going to understand some things. Second half of the step, of course, says praying only for the knowledge of his will and the power to carry it out. Some people think that that's the only thing they should ever pray for in their life. I don't believe that. I believe religious tradition teaches that we can pray for a lot of other things. And even the big book says that we can pray for our usefulness in certain areas and in people's lives. But it is important, I think, for addicts to understand that we tend to be selfish, that we tend to have self-pity. And because of our navel gazing, because of us looking at things egocentrically, it's important that we say, as one person said before, thy will be done, not mine. Praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. His will comes before my will. If his will is for me to make the money, fine. If his will is for me to lose this deal, fine. Whatever his will is, I'm willing to submit to that, praying only for the knowledge of his will and the power to carry that out. Thank you.